buffering didn't actually apply to the Smith situation. And so once I had that taken care of, it was a very quiet and very short discussion. So there's just those two things to report back on.
Okay, thank you, Sherry. All right, we'll move on to agenda item number 7, discussion and action regarding approval of a conditional use for setbacks from 15 feet to 5 feet in the rear on an accessory dwelling unit located at 4936 West, 3625 South. Do we have Mr. Haynes here tonight? All right, do you want to step up to the microphone here? Just to explain maybe what your plans are and.
Yeah, so I just built a detached garage, and then we put just a small apartment up top. It's about 400 square feet, and we don't plan on renting it out or anything. We just wanted to have something where our adult kids could have a place to stay when they came home.
Okay. And this is to address the setbacks, right?
Yeah, just as a point not related to the setbacks, you're going to have, the building code is going to require you to put a window in the bedroom.
Yeah, there is one in there.
Oh, okay. It just wasn't shown on the elevations.
Yeah, because the architect messed up the elevations.
Okay. And that's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. Just one of the commissioners had a question about it during our work session. So we had the building official come in just
Yeah.
so you're aware if that wasn't already in progress.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's there.
Great.
So the stairs that go on the outside of the building,
Correct.
how far along are you in the process of framing, or how far along in the building are you?
Oh, it's completely framed in.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So are the stairs made?
Yeah.
Some of the grief we've heard is, would it be hard to put them on the other side of the building?
Yeah.
Impossible or
Impossible.
hard?
Impossible. Yeah, the interior's already framed. Everything's done. So we change everything on the inside.
So what do the stairs go into in the upstairs? Is it a family room, a
Yeah,
bedroom, or?
The family area, yeah, the little family room.
So there's a family room, because we don't have any plans for anything for the interior of that building. So they go up into a family room, and there's a bedroom and a bathroom on the other side of it.
Yeah, I can show you if you want to see it. I thought they would have, because the city has them. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty simple,
Yeah.
it's a pretty simple floor plan.
So is it plumbed already? Okay, thank you.
Sherry, is this in compliance on the side?
Sorry, could you say that a little bit louder?
Is this in compliance on the side? We're just talking about the rear setback?
It's both. So
So it would be in compliance if it was a shop, but not as an ADU,
yeah.
correct? Okay. And it looks like parking is not an issue. All right, any other questions? I think we're studying, we're pondering. I think some of us are struggling a little bit just because it's kind of already in place, and so we're trying to kind of adjust our thinking on it. It'd be a little easier if you were earlier in the process and we could
Yeah.
kind of make adjustments. So.
Well, and I think that the issue is it's non-conforming to our city code already. And if we, whatever decision that the council makes has repercussion to anybody else that comes in, I think is what
Yeah,
is
that's-
on my mind anyways. If we give you, then it sets a precedence for anybody else.
Yeah,
And
just
I
like when
feel
I
like-
talked to Tyler, you know, he said,
Yeah, and I
file
feel
for an
like you had
exception
every
because there's-
intentions on making it an ADU before you even got going, you know, and so you're coming in after the fact, because.
yeah, because I don't know, I don't,
To be
Sherry,
compliant, so.
did Dave not get the whole story of what happened? Do I need to explain all that?
Yeah, you're welcome to.
Okay, I would have thought you guys would have seen the application and everything that was submitted prior to this, but I guess not. Yeah, so when I submitted for the permits, my architect had sent me 2 sets of plans. One without the accessory dwelling and one with the accessory dwelling. I uploaded the wrong ones. And so we were going along just fine after getting the permit, and when it came time to get the four-way, and I called to get the four-way inspection, they said, oh, well, it's just a shop, you don't need a four-way. I'm like, well, yeah, don't you want to inspect all the electrical and plumbing? And that's when it came about that I had uploaded the wrong plans. So I uploaded the wrong plans and then thinking, okay, we're good to go. So it wasn't like I just built it and then thought, oh, I'll just ask later if I can do this. It was just simply the wrong set of plans got uploaded to the website when we submitted for the permits.
Can I ask a question?
You bet.
So the window for the bedroom on the ADU, is it going to be facing your house or what direction does it face?
It faces west.
Which is what? Is it facing toward the house, your existing house? Or
No, it faces west, and my house faces south.
So Darren,
It's
it
not
would
on-
face into his backyard, it'd face, it's in the ADU or the building is in his northeast corner of his property, so it'd face west.
It's not directly overlooking one of the adjoining property lines.
okay.
If the window was on the north side or the east side, then it would be on one of the walls that's adjacent to a property line, but on the west side, it's not.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
So in this picture here, this shed's been removed.
Yes.
Now, are you pouring concrete all the way back?
No.
Or is it just gonna be
No,
grass?
it's grass, but it's got the grid underneath it, so it's like basically a grass driveway.
Yeah. And it's not a requirement for an ADU that they concrete back to it if they put it in the back corner. We have a few that people will just do it alongside the garage or something like that, and then just do like stones or some kind of a walking path or something like that.
I don't know, it's just frustrating because you could have moved it over easy.
All right, any other comments, questions? Are we ready for a motion?
Are you ready for a motion, Becky?
I'm ready for a motion if anyone feels so inclined.
I don't know. I'm almost thinking
Well,
about it a little bit longer.
You thinking
my
of tabling
question
it,
too
or-
is you talk about privacy fencing, but it's not, the privacy fencing isn't going to help for the ADU,
yeah.
right? I mean, that's irrelevant in this situation, correct?
Is the window
Because it's on the top
a window
level,
in
yeah.
the door
Right.
Yeah.
overlooks your neighbor?
Yeah, it overlooks their garden. I
Like
mean,
the
these
door
are
would overlook-
half acre lots, so there's no, they have a shop, they have a big shop back there as well.
So it's like, is it a half window in your door? Overlooks them, and then the window,
And then the other window
looks
is
out the other side of
65
your
feet away
drive.
from my next neighbor.
I think why we're having a little heartburn is this is probably gonna be the first of many. So we wanna make sure we go through this really carefully and kind of set a precedent, because I feel like this is gonna be an ongoing request. I don't know, are others feeling the same way? I can sense a little
Yeah.
bit of trepidation here, so what are your thoughts?
Sherry, staff thought that this was, I mean, what are your thoughts on this?
What is what?
What are your thoughts on this as far as going forward?
On this specific one or in general?
Both.
Can you pull up the picture again?
I don't love this situation. I understand that there was a mistake made. I struggle though to understand or to really wrap my head around what the benefit would be by having them move it 5 additional feet or even 10 feet the one direction. I struggle to see what the substantial benefit to the city is. Because if it's a top level ADU, having it 15 feet setback, if you've got, where there's not any windows that look directly into adjacent yards, I don't know what the benefit is to making
There
it
is a
move
window
it.
in the door.
Huh?
There's a window in the door.
Yeah.
Back, so is this a garden area and then a shed in the neighbor's
Yeah.
yard? Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah, they're half-acre lots, so their house is 100 feet or more away from
Yeah.
this building.
I guess my thought is, Amy, is I'm thinking, like, I'm inclined, like, to go forward with this, but going forward, where does that put us going forward? I guess I need to be clear in that question. Going forward, where does that put us?
Yeah, are you talking about setting a precedent sort of going
Yes.
forward? I mean, I don't love this because, yeah, even though there's not a lot of, there may not be harm to the city by having it here. I don't love it because we have a rule, and it is what it is. We've set the setbacks, and that was a policy decision that you guys made. And having an ADU inside that setback is against the policy decision that made. I mean, are there ways to, if you grant it, being able to defend it later? Yeah. Because of some technological glitch, that could be a finding. I could see us being able to defend it either way, denying it because it doesn't fit within our policy, or saying yes because of a technological glitch, as long as he follows all the building permits and conditions and stuff. So it really kind of comes down to you guys as to what you want to do. Like I said, I don't love it because part of the problem is we've seen other people come in and claim mistake. And I'm using air quotes when I say mistake, because we all know that it wasn't, with some of those other situations. And so how do you sort out, what's mistake and what's, not? And whether or not you should grant an allowance for for what a petitioner is calling a mistake.
Well, I know it probably seems over the top because you're just planning to have family be in it when they come to visit even, it sounds like. The hesitancy with that is that's the plan now, but 20, 30 years from now, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Or even
but
5
I won't
years
be
from
living there
now.
in 20 years.
I mean, you
You want to
sell
live in there 20 years? I know, that's my point.
sell the house and somebody else will
They'll
use
rent
it
it.
the way, will rent it to
Yeah,
non-family.
and like I said, and the other thing is the fact of where it's located. We're not on a quarter-acre lot with a house that's going to get affected by. I mean, the dog behind me affects more of our neighbors than this building does. I mean, they've already had, I think, 6 calls on that stupid thing. So if it wasn't such a big lot where there's no direct windows facing a neighbor, then so it's.
How close is the house that's kitty corner? That's the closest house as to what you're doing.
Yeah, and there's no windows on that side.
Right.
There are no windows looking over into
Yeah,
that
there's
side.
no windows on that side.
This is something I was going to point out. We have several pools in our adjoining neighborhood, and their parties are kind of a
Yeah.
little loud. I almost think the building would block some of the noise, because the noise carries where there's not a home, where it's open space.
Yeah.
There's pools several blocks away, and where there's no buildings, it's pretty loud. So I don't know, I kind of see that as kind of a plus to some of those homes behind. That might block some of the fun and that they're having, which is not a bad thing, but I don't know, that's just something where's everybody sitting on this, or?
Well, I'm sitting on, back to the planning meeting where we say, we need to get something in the newsletter that's really clear on making sure your I's are dotted and your T's crossed before you do anything on your land, you know?
Yeah.
Well, and this will be a hot topic. People are gonna, I think a lot of people are considering this, especially with the bigger lots that we have.
And I think that maybe we need to go back and revisit this and do something different on the setbacks, maybe. Because I'm with Sherry, it's like, is 5 feet really gonna make any difference? I mean, it's a bigger lot, whereas if it was a quarter acre lot, and now all of a sudden that is, you're on top of somebody.
So different
and
setbacks
so
for lot sizes, is what
Possibly,
you're saying.
And I'm inclined, I mean, I feel bad for you, because it is a technical glitch, but, you know, I feel bad for you. And I just think that, you know, I had an old boss who used to always say the devil's in the details, and you know,
I submit probably 5 permits a week for my job, so yeah,
So-
it's funny that this one I mess up. Go figure.
So since this is a conditional use, can we set a condition that we don't have any windows on two
there's
sides
only,
of his
there's
house?
only, it's pitched
I know, but
wood
he has
roof,
a
so
door. Can we just the window on the door? Which I think really, for me, the only concern is how close it is to the neighbor's yard, and it is a yard, but you still probably want some privacy in your yard. So for that east side, can we say that he can't have a window on that door as a condition?
It has blinds in it internally.
That might.
I think the point is that the blinds can be opened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's already
And
in
not having, you know, if somebody is living up there, not having them be able to basically stand at their door and stare into the neighbor's yard, which is creepy,
But it faces a shed, so it's not facing yard, it's facing a shed.
well, being out working in the garden and having, you know, the neighbor up on the top there staring into the garden as you're working out there.
We're not saying this is what's gonna happen, we're just saying,
Just saying
what
that.
if?
Well, there's so many what ifs though. I mean,
know.
there's what ifs that could happen with your codes that
I know,
would make
but
that code
you have to
irrelevant.
understand, we take a lot of heat for what ifs.
Well, and we've already had a complaint regarding how close the building is to the neighbor's lot. So it's something that's why they're having a concern about it, is there's already been a complaint about it.
So yeah, I guess, or would we be okay to set that condition,
I think
Is
you
that-
could set that condition.
or is that okay? I just want to make sure.
I mean,
We could, so I'd be inclined to do that. I mean, I know that it seems like a small thing. Obviously, we're not trying to say that you're going to be doing this kind of stuff, but we need to kind
20
of
years from now, when you're
generalize.
not living there.
We need to kind of generalize as to what could
Let me take a
happen.
look at your floor plan again, real quick. If I could.
You obviously have already purchased the door.
replacing a door is cheaper than not having an ADU, though.
anyways.
Okay. Thank you.
You ready for
Yeah, I'm
motion?
ready.
Are
I'll
they
make a
gonna,
motion.
are Tyler gonna still have to review their plans since they didn't get the interior plans right, correct? If we do,
Tyler does this.
Tyler already did, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, this doesn't, and this in no way, shape, or form really them from having to work with Tyler and make
Yeah.
sure all the inspections and stuff like that are
agree, the
done. They
5
absolutely
feet.
still have to do all of that.
The 5 feet isn't going to make a difference.
We ready for a motion? You ready to give a motion?
Did you want to do one, or Andrew, or?
You guys do it.
I'll,
Wanna-
I'm fine with it, so.
Okay. I'll make a motion.
Well,
Well.
I
Sorry, go ahead,
understand
Natalie.
the solid door concept, I do. But part of me thinks if I were living in that place,
Want the window?
I need some light, and I need some light more than from one window.
I
That's
just can't stand somebody's looking out, I mean, if they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it in the bedroom, they're gonna sit and watch out the neighbors out the west. So what's the difference between them looking out the window in the east or the west side? I realize he's looking in his own yard, but he's up high enough he could see. If somebody's gonna
Sitting
window
on your
peep,
porch
somebody's gonna
looking in
window
their yard,
peep,
I mean-
and I just think it's ridiculous that we're gonna, make him change his door up to put it's a half window, he said, it's not even a full-size door, that somebody's gonna peek up like this and look out the window at the person that's working in the backyard, whatever. I just think it's ridiculous,
would-
so I'm fine with it the way it is.
Light.
As
in-
is.
I just
even
think
if it's a
that
small space.
I just think that we need to look at possibly revising these, because I'm with you guys. I think we're gonna see more of these come up, and the bigger lots, I just, maybe the setbacks need to be something different than just every setback's the same.
I was mostly saying it out of concern for the neighbor, but again, I don't, because that is the neighbor that reported it, I believe, or that kind of made a complaint. But I can't say that I feel strongly about that condition.
Anybody else feel
so-
strongly about no window on the door?
I think he was more complaining about the stairs being closer to his property is what I think.
Okay. Then
But the stairs don't count towards the setback.
No, they
correct?
don't.
Okay. Well, I can make a motion if you're ready.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we approve the conditional use for the setbacks from 15 feet to 5 feet in the rear of an accessory dwelling unit located at 4936 West, 3625 South for the applicant Michael Haynes.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
You have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, you have your conditional use.
Thank you.
And they don't know, he doesn't need to go to city council or anything until he gets the,
No, he doesn't have to do anything with city council.
okay, he just has to meet with the building inspector moving
Tyler,
forward.
yeah.
Okay.
Or-
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
We struggle a little bit, so sometimes we have to talk through it, so thank you. Okay, moving on to agenda item number 8 regarding a preliminary site plan approval for Allwoods Tree Service located at 1625 West, 2100 South. Applicant Mike Wood, do we have someone present for that? All right. You want to state your name? I assume you're Mike Wood, but.
Yes, I am Mike Wood.
All right, and just tell us a little bit about what your plans are.
We're trying to purchase this property to store our equipment for our business.
Okay. And I do have your notarized consent there from the owner, so thank you for that. That was one of our main questions before we could move forward, so thank you for doing that.
So we are curious to know, what are your plans for improving the parking areas?
The parking areas where we park and drive will be road base. And what this is, we are storing our equipment. We don't have customers come to us. We're storing equipment, and then our guys, when they come in the morning, obviously they'll park in there, and then away we go.
Okay, and the hammerhead apparently is not big enough, according to the fire chief. Is that correct?
Yeah, the hammerhead handle needs to be increased from 50 feet to 70 feet to meet International Fire Code.
Okay?
And to meet International Fire Code, the hammerhead radius needs to be 28.
We can,
Yeah,
It's
if
a
you're doing
big-
road base, that's,
it's a big open field,
Yeah.
basically, where he'll be turning around if they ever need to come in, so that would not be an issue.
Are you doing anything with the existing building?
The only thing we're doing with the existing building is there's two wings or lean-tos. We're taking those off, so we do have enough distance between the boundaries to get fire trucks past.
And is there any intent to operate out of the building, or, I mean,
When you mean operate, what do you mean?
you got a building in the middle of your property, what's your intention down the road with that building?
We're going to put just parts and stuff like
So
that.
it's more of a garage than anything?
Yeah, it is not an office. We have absolutely no intention. Our office is in a totally different spot, and it would be a nightmare changing all that. So it's just going to be a storage building.
Sherry,
then
would they,
does-
go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, does UDOT own the ingress area, and are they fine with in and out, or?
Yeah, we've had a meeting with UDOT on it. Really the only thing that UDOT requested of them is that the access right now, it's just 20 feet. And where this is going from more than just a residential access, it needs to increase to 24 feet. Just so that cars can get by each other coming and going. But other than that, UDOT really didn't have anything.
So if he's just gonna store in that building, do they need a building inspection or anything like that?
I would say yes.
Yeah.
That, yeah, they need to work with Tyler over that, even with storage.
When we had a meeting with a group, I'm not sure who it was, and maybe Tyler came in, and they said they used the term U-building. And with the U-building, they told us it did not need to be inspected, but I could be wrong on that.
I would have to verify that with Tyler because I don't believe that's the case.
Okay, well, if they need to look at it, they can look at it.
What?
If they need to come look at it, they can look at it. They can
Yeah.
inspect it.
To me, this seems like we've made a mountain out of a molehill. He's just parking equipment in a yard, and he's making room for a turnaround for a fire truck. If that's all he needs to do, if he's graveling it, that should be sufficient, I guess.
On here, the gravel isn't shown. It doesn't show anything what's being done to the parking areas or to the turnaround areas.
So are you gonna gravel the whole lot, the road base or whatever?
Yes, basically, it will be.
Yeah.
And there's other papers that were submitted that showed, where the parking and the gravel would be. And we will, we'll make it to where we can access it, because it does us no good if we actually finally get some precip and we can't access our own yard.
Well,
We've got this, so you're basically putting road base where?
So the road base would come in.
Can you have him speak into the microphone, because,
Okay. So on this, the road base would come in, we'd road base definitely through here along both sides, so we can get the trucks and vehicles through there. Definitely road base out here, road base where the
hammerhead
turnaround
is?
Yeah, the hammerhead. So it sounds like that needs to be extended a little bit more to the west. And we would road base up here. The vast majority of this, if not all of it, will
Okay.
be road base, so we can access.
including the stalls where where they're gonna be parked?
Yeah, he said that.
Yeah, that'll definitely be road based.
as part of the final approval, he'll have to have some stuff drawn up and reviewed and signed off by regarding like the road base and correcting the hammerhead, stuff like that. That'll have to be looked at and reviewed by and approved by the city engineer.
Okay.
Along those lines, is that something that, once we get it redrawn, we could resubmit immediately, or how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, I'm from a staff perspective, I'm comfortable with them doing preliminary approval, but before you get final approval on it, we have to see the plans for all the improvements that are going on there, including where the road base is gonna go. We have to see the corrected measurements on the hammerhead turnaround. I mean, if those are the conditions that the planning commission puts in place, you could turn in and bring them in tomorrow. You do have to come back to another planning commission meeting to give final approval. And so between now and then, the city engineer would work with you to make sure that the improvement drawings are acceptable. And then I will need you to provide something written from the building official saying that it doesn't need an inspection, because I do not believe that's the case.
And it may, I just, when he came in halfway through our meeting, I don't even know what group I met with, but the engineer was there, 2 engineers actually, and he came in and talked, but we can discuss with him, and if he needs to, or we need to do an inspection, that's fine with us.
Yeah, I mean, with existing buildings, prior to any change of occupancy, there has to be a building inspection to make sure that it's up to code regardless of the building type.
Okay. The way I understood it with the U, it wasn't actually technically being occupied. I don't know, but we'll do what we need to do.
Yeah, it's anytime there's a change of use, whether it's going from like one type of business to another type of business. Anytime there's a change of use, you have to have a building inspection.
Okay, we can do that.
All right, ready for a motion?
Okay, I'll try. Or do you think you've got it?
No, you go ahead.
Okay, you guys can correct me if I miss something. All right, I make a motion, we grant preliminary site plan approval to Allwood Tree Services at 1625 West, 2100 South, with the notation that they need to identify where the road base is going to be before final. And they need to extend the hammerhead from 50 feet to 70 feet. And it needs to have a radius of 28 feet according to fire requirements. And they also need to make sure their opening is 24 feet instead of 20, as requested by UDOT. And we need to clarify whether the building will need to be inspected. And also, just make sure you're aware that if at any time you decide to use that building for some other purpose, you would have to meet all the requirements for putting a actual worked-in business in it or whatever.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Wow. All right, you've got your preliminary site plan approval. Thank you. Okay, we'll move to agenda item number 9 regarding preliminary plat approval for Sunset Farm subdivision located at 3417 South, 2700 West. Applicant Tyler Peterson. Is Tyler here? I assume you're Tyler?
I am. My name is Tyler Peterson.
Okay. All right, so tell us, looks like we kind of have a vision of what your plans are, but if you want to just explain.
Yeah, me and my wife currently live on 3417 South, 2700 West, and I love this lot, love the area, love the views, and love how quiet it is, and wanted to be able to provide an opportunity to family and those close to us for an opportunity to build a home in that area. We've kind of wanted to meet what the city's wanted and create a neighborhood that's quiet and adds to the value of the surrounding lots. So I'm happy to answer any questions that any of you might have.
All right, and so your lot is number 1?
Correct.
So that will remain as lot number 1?
Yes.
Okay. It looks like it meets the zoning, correct, Sherry? Looks like it.
Yeah. This is actually one that they came in and met with DRC twice, I think.
Correct.
I've met with them a few times as they worked through this process. And they I mean, to their credit, they've done their homework. They basically, they've had this same concept from the get-go. So like I said, my staff report, Chief Reed has already looked at it, the radius and the turnaround, the width of the road, it all meets fire code. City engineer has looked at it. It's acceptable as a private road, given the number of lots that it serves and the design of the road. So it's fully compliant with all the zoning.
And it looks like it exceeds the buffering in the zone, so.
Yeah.
Is there gonna be an HOA to maintain the private road?
That's something we're still working to figure out, but there will be a mutual agreement between all the lots on how the roads will be maintained.
So you're just planning on curb and guttering the north side, not the south?
Correct.
You'll get good views of the fireworks on Saturday.
I know. We'll be there. We will be there.
All right. Any other questions, concerns? We ready for a motion?
I'll make a motion that we grant the preliminary plat approval for Sunset Farm subdivision located at 3417 South 2700 West for Tyler Peterson.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, I didn't hear Darren on an aye. But,
I said aye.
okay, good. Okay, so we all unanimous, so motion passes. So we have preliminary site plan approval for Sunset Farm subdivision. Thank you.
Thank you.
How's the baby? When they first came to talk to me several months ago, they were expecting. So I feel emotionally invested in how their baby's doing.
Oh, we like those happy moments, so.
Yeah.
It's nice when we have meetings when we can smile and
Yeah.
share moments. So they're not always like that.
A little tense here for a minute.
All right, so agenda item number 10, discussion and action regarding preliminary parcel plan approval for the village at Green Farm located at approximately 3700 South, 4550 West. I imagine that's why you're here.
Yeah, Jake Jones from Nielsen Homes. Yeah, just coming in for our next phase of the Green Farm Master Plan Community, and I'm sure you have the plans, you see the plans, so happy to answer any questions that you may have about this next phase.
All right. So these are townhomes. Are these
I
townhomes?
didn't remember
Correct.
there were gonna be rentals over there. I guess my memory's not so good.
Is it townhome rentals or owned?
It says rentals on it.
Yeah, and I don't know that we've decided fully, but that's what we're leaning towards rentals. So
They can actually do either. If they end up choosing to individually parcel them out, then there's a separate process that the state code outlines to condominiumize something. But either option is available to them. I put rental because
Yeah.
seems to be what it is right now.
that's right.
But
that's
they
what we're
do
leaning.
have the ability to change course on that.
Meaning you would maintain ownership of all of these.
That's right. Yep. And I mean, initially,
probably.
yeah, me personally. I mean, we could potentially sell some off or the whole thing, or but that's the idea is we'd keep them long term. That's what we'd like to do at least.
It's a popular trend right now. The single family rentals.
My only question for Jake, I know this is in my staff report too. I know there's been some back and forth about who's going to own the roads.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to maintain ownership of the loop roads that go up and down off of 3675?
Yeah, and that's, as we talked with Matt, that's kind of what we landed on was
Okay.
we'd be okay to take those as part of the whole discussion. So
Okay. Because when Ed and I were looking at this, like just from, well, and even the fire chief from a safety perspective, the guest parking that backs right onto those, we were a little worried about, but
Right.
if the only road on this that the city's gonna own is 3675 that we just did the dedication plat on, then from my perspective and from Ed's perspective, that goes away because you guys are gonna keep ownership of it.
Great. Yeah, it's great to hear because, yeah, we're happy to take ownership of these. so.
Yeah.
Great.
And are there townhomes just south of these? I'm trying to
Yeah,
orient
so
myself.
quite a bit further south, but
Oh, quite a bit
yeah,
further. Okay.
These are kind of up, but there are right at the entrance when you enter into Green
Yeah.
Farm. There's those townhomes there.
Yeah, I see those right there. I'm just
Yep.
trying to visualize.
I
And then
know.
there's, what's in between then?
So it's actually on the, so as you go up Green Farm Way,
Yeah.
on the west side, it's homes that back onto that.
Okay.
So it's the single family, not a part of our development, but yeah, they back on,
Okay.
they back onto that. So just south, it'll be a park, and then just south of that, there'll be those homes. So
Just trying, okay, now I think I can find.
I know it's hard
I
to
was
keep.
thinking it was that the dark square, but it's below the dark square. I'm
Yep.
kind of looking at- Okay,
It's hard to keep it all straight. I get it.
so,
Yeah, if you look on this screen, it's right where the arrow is.
right, the arrow is, okay.
this
I can kind of see now
property.
where the existing phase 8 or 1B
Yeah.
kind of comes into play.
Yep.
I'm just trying to find how many units are on there.
94.
97?
How many?
94.
94 units, okay.
Yep.
And I'm just curious, are they two-story?
We haven't
Typical two-story?
decided fully. I think we're leaning towards a similar products to what's on the initial. We really like the look of those and
Those
feel
look
like
nice.
yeah, we feel like, and
I'm just not a big fan of the 3-story tall, especially bordering some of the bigger lots, so.
Well, most townhouses are kind of fun. You go up the stairs and then they split, and you have bedrooms here and bedrooms here.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the only question from staff was about the private road.
Well, you need to make sure before you come in for final that,
The complete approved set of civil engineering drawings.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
on there.
And our engineer's working on that, so we should be starting that process probably tomorrow or early next week. So yeah, I appreciate that.
Remind me what type of commercial you're trying to put in there?
We haven't done anything. We haven't made any decisions on that yet. As part of the MDA, we were required to have commercial as part of this parcel.
Yeah.
And so that's where we said, look, it makes the most sense out by the road, but we haven't decided on anything, and we probably won't. In the near term, we'll probably just see what happens and how things grow. So
I heard Chick-fil-A or.
Hey,
or
that'd be
or
great. That'd be
Cheesecake
great from our
Factory.
perspective.
That's what I
Might
heard.
as well, there's not enough room for people to park, and that seems to be their MO.
yeah, that sounds great to me.
We don't need any more soda shops, sorry, I'm not a drinker.
Thanks, Natalie.
Before this goes to council, will you
Caught me up.
have your engineer do a revision that shows those two and says private roads?
Yeah, you bet. Yeah,
Because that'll become a conversation point at council, so.
you bet. Yeah, I saw your comment. We'll make sure we get that done.
All right, any other questions, concerns, comments? I'm ready for a motion if anybody's so inclined.
I'll make a motion that we grant preliminary partial plan approval for the village at Green Farms located approximately 3700 south, 4450 west. And I'm not gonna read the parcel numbers.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
And any opposed? Okay, it looks like motion carries. So you have your preliminary parcel plan approval.
Awesome.
Good
Thank you
enough.
so much.
And then, yes, go to city council. Do you know, will they go next week? Is there one next week?
No, there's 5 Wednesdays
5
in June,
Wednesdays?
so it's 2 weeks. It's
Okay.
July 6th.
Thank you.
All right, moving down to agenda item number 11, discussion and action on public hearing concerning adopting a landscaping standards and requirements ordinance. So it looks like you kind of cleaned up some of our changes.
Yeah, I went through and made the changes that were requested.
I have one question. Maybe I'm just dumb tonight or all the time. Who knows? Is it supposed to be ground plane?
like that.
Yeah, is it supposed to be ground plane coverage?
What page?
That's, well, it's all throughout it.
Oh,
That's just, I guess I'm not familiar with that phrase.
plain PLANE.
Well, in that regard. I mean, I've heard
Oh.
that word before, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't think you were. Never mind. It's been a long week.
It's been a long month for you.
I just was checking to make sure that, you know, because it's not a typo, you're telling me.
No, it's not.
Okay. My only comment, there were some,
Formatting?
yes, thank
Yeah,
you.
I'll fix it.
Okay, I'll give you where I copied stuff, if you want it.
Yeah, like I know there's some formatting stuff in here. Honestly, something was really weird about the original document. And every change that I tried to make shifted some of the formatting. And I'm like, I don't have the emotional energy to fix the formatting.
That happens to me sometimes too, I hate it.
So I will go back and fix it because I know there's a bunch of places where I need to do that.
Okay, you can handle this. I circled and drew some arrows. You can look at that if you want.
And there's things that go like from B and C to A and B, 1 and 2, and yeah.
So I just had two questions. Under the smart automatic irrigation controllers, it just says that they encourage this, but is there any way we can put something in there that requires businesses, apartment complexes, type places that require them to have those installed? So that, I mean, I drive past businesses and apartment buildings that it just rained and they got their sprinklers on because nobody's watching them.
Yeah.
You know, so I just, that's one question I had. And then, is the city gonna hire an arborist, or is that, I mean, who's gonna be appointed as to be the arborist?
Brock, I'll wait till after West Haven Days to tell him. No, I don't know. That is something that we need to.
Cause it's in here that the city's gonna have an arborist, so.
It's actually in our code too about, I don't know if you remember seeing that in our vast documents that talks about the city having about having somebody appointed as an arborist.
So it's just an it's gonna be an appointment, it's not gonna be
I
a
believe so.
true.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong because I've like read pages and pages of code. And I remember reading this only because I don't know if Melinda remembers the arborist and the tree board. But
Tree board.
yeah,
Did you guys know we had a tree board?
what was that?
Andrew wants to be part of the tree board, he
No, we
said.
had a tree board because we do.
I didn't know we had a tree board.
Neither did we till we, see, these are the things you could have learned, Natalie, if you had helped with recodification review.
But it isn't keeping me awake at night either. That I didn't know that.
Natalie's
Do you know the
planning to be
boards
part
come
of the
from
tree board
trees?
too.
Yeah, she wants to be part of the tree board now. The tree board would probably be more interesting than the recodification, frankly. But
Yeah, probably. But do we actually have people on a tree board? Or we're just supposed to?
Well, we would have to ask the city manager that question.
Okay.
That's above my pay grade. I didn't know that there was one until we were reading the code. And we have to have it because, to be able to maintain our, like, Tree USA status. Also something that we learned.
Don't be injuring any more trees, Natalie.
Don't be wet.
Injuring. It says it's illegal to cut, injure, or top trees.
Yeah. Makes
Is she
them
known
look
to do
ugly.
that?
All the time.
What? Me? You haven't seen, my husband did a tree of life dance around the trees we planted when we moved here, so.
I'm sorry, but point of information, what is what is this dance consist
He
of?
made it up.
Okay.
It's kind of like a snow dance,
It
okay?
was more like, just to get the kids involved in the planting of this tree and encouraging it to grow. I think we've planted 4 others in the same spot. Nothing lives there.
Fair enough. But we digress.
Yes, we do.
Never happens.
What happens when you're jet lagged?
Anything else on that? So we can approve that, is that the action? We had discussion, and if there's no more discussion, then our action would be approving this.
Recommending it to city
Recommending it to
council
city
for
council.
adoption.
That's true, because we don't approve, we recommend.
Right.
Yes, I'm working on that part.
Good job.
So, anybody have any other comments or things to add? So besides the formatting, was there any other changes to add if we,
Scott wants to make sure we tell
I mean, I
commercial
think
they
that'd
have to have it.
probably be in more of a, something else than probably in this, though. Because it'd have to be per, because in here it would require everybody, whereas if it's just specifically for businesses and apartment complexes.
Well, there's different sections for businesses, though. Are you saying that's only for
I don't
everybody?
know.
And I'll tell you, in my honest opinion, I don't think it would hurt to require it for everybody.
I agree.
We had to get one. They made us get one.
A smart water
The
controller.
city
thing?
did. Yeah, whoever controls the water. They said, you will have to get one or we're gonna fine you.
Yeah.
Well, but
Okay.
we don't control the water.
The water.
The city doesn't control the water.
Whoever controls the water.
So it's either like, what is it, Hooper?
Bona Vista.
I know, but
Taylor
I
West
guess all I'm
River.
saying is, unless I'm not talking about what you're talking about, they were only like $100.
No, and I don't know. I think they're pretty cheap, but
In
it'd be
today's-
monitoring, if it rained, it would shut them off.
Right, so in today's world, I don't know that I'd have a problem requiring it for anybody putting in.
I mean, the water district, you can get a rebate from the water district, actually. They give you a $75 rebate.
Nobody told us that.
When I got mine, it was $75. It was a $200, or it was the $150 sprinkler timer. And it is controlled to the weather, so when it rains, it won't
Right.
water my grass. When it's windy, it won't water my grass either.
I don't think it would hurt to require it with the fact that we're having so many issues with water.
I agree.
I think he said
He
I
said
agree.
he agrees.
Yeah, agreed.
Where is he anyway?
Idaho.
Camping.
Camping in Idaho.
if you have Wi-Fi, it's not camping.
I have Wi-Fi. I have cell service, so I'm going
Oh,
over my
okay.
It depends on your definition of camping, right? My wife's idea of camping,
in a
or
hotel?
my wife's idea of roughing it is as a Super 8. Camping is the Hilton. So,
There's camping.
Super 8 is roughing it.
Wi-Fi, people say you have Wi-Fi, that doesn't mean you have Wi-Fi either. We tried to get Wi-Fi in the middle of our cruise in the middle of the ocean, we had no Wi-Fi.
so could we add some language in there that would require any new developments to
Um,
have that, or is that something that we can't?
Yes, sort of. The thing is, we're not the enforcement on water, so putting something in there that requires it, we can't enforce it because we're not the governing body for their water usage. So we can't make requirements that we're not
We can't enforce.
Thank you. It's,
I see that, but
It-
we're, got requirements in there on what kind of sprinklers you can have, and that you got to have bubblers by the trees and all of this, and I'm like, what the heck?
It's, I don't know, it's just kind of a little bit tricky as to,
Okay, well then maybe just put strong language that it's strongly encouraged.
okay.
I don't know.
I'll do that.
Do we want to approve it with those recommendations? All right. Somebody ready to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we recommend the adoption of the landscaping standards with the changes that we kind of discussed with the formatting and adding the verbiage in about recommending watering monitors and tools.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, any opposed? Okay, recommendation is accomplished. All right, before we go to 12, I'm going to be gone on the 27th, so I know we have a couple of, are we going to start doing the hearings, public hearings on the rezoning in July? Is that the plan? So the,
Yes. We're gonna see how the open houses go next week. The 27th.
so I'll be gone that way, and it's your birthday. I was going to bring you a
How are you supposed to
treat.
bring me birthday
I-
cinnamon rolls if
I
you're
know,
gone?
I've got concert tickets. I just thought if other people are going to be out of town or just making sure we're not
Concert
all.
tickets
gone
are
the same
a bad
time.
word to me right now.
What's that?
I think you could resell those.
Josh Groban tickets.
Oh, okay, fine. You can miss my birthday meeting for Josh Groban. The schedule that I presented and put together, very ambitious and very fast. Some of it will flex based on what happens at the open houses and the public feedback that we get. What that is going to be exactly, like the change in the schedules, I don't know. Because there is some concern about trying to do them all at once. We haven't fully decided if we're going to break it up and do a subdivision at a time. If we hold a single public hearing, if we hold multiple ones. Right now, I just don't know. I'll know better in a week, but I don't know right now. So,
Okay. I just thought it was vacation season if people know ahead of, I'd hate for a couple of us to be gone and plan a big agenda, so.
yeah. So, yeah.
Okay, well, anything else to talk about before we go to our last agenda item, number 12?
I don't have anything else.
Okay.
I make a move to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Okay,
Good job,
looks
Becky.
like we're adjourned. All right, I didn't get too tongue-tied. This was an easier one.